What's happening, family? L.A.R movement still moving. This one's gonna be coming from my perspective. If black women want to be free, see, in light of the situation with the bus driver, I thought about something. Women in general have an increasing distaste for men, and it roots in that equality thing. So if it's so when that's what it's about. It's some things that, from a male perspective, I would like to say to women for them to understand some things, especially black women. If you want to be truly free and truly equal and happy, you have to accept your role as a woman first, not making your role subservient to a man. But first, accept that role and stop trying to compete with the male role. Now, second, you're going to have to, if you really want equality with men, you're going to have to start doing male labor. You're going to have to start paving roads, building buildings, plumbing, putting yourselves on the front line of wars, um, sacrificing your life. You're going to have to start taking your check and giving it to a guy and let him divvy up what you think you should get. You're going to have to start marrying people, and when you get divorced, give up half of your stuff to them also. See, if you want to be free, you got to be all the way free. You can't be free trying to hold on, because what's happening with a lot of women and a lot of sisters is you want to be free from the constraints of being of men, but you want men to pay for that. You want men to do the work for that. No. The other thing, especially with black women, you're gonna have to step away from black men for a minute, step away from white men for a minute, and sit in the middle and actually reflect and look at what's got you where you are. Because everything that is a black woman's problem is not a black man's fault. It's not a black man's problem. You, we can say, okay, you feel abandoned by us black men, and you have a gripe about that. And you could say that you feel safe in the comfort of white men because they're gonna make black men do things or hold black men to a standard that they wouldn't hold themselves accountable to. So in a sense, y'all both in bed, but you feel like they'll make us do what you can't. And you're gonna have to sit with that for a minute, because what you're basically saying is you think you sicking your dogs on us when we trying to tell you, no, you're the dog. The other thing, I think, which is most important, if you want to be free, black women, you're going to have to learn about legacy. You see, when you call yourselves queens and you want to be reverenced as more than a normal woman or person, something higher than that, royalty knows about legacy. Royalty knows how to marry or procreate with people that can expand and better the legacy. Royalty knows about taking care of what you have, building on what you have, and cohesively uniting things. But y'all women right now are taught to break up things. See, it's okay if you can't work out a marriage and that doesn't work out, fine. But then you break up the assets, fine. But then you take a bulk of the assets, fine. Then you take most of what is divvied up for your child, too, not fine. Then your child is left starting from scratch. Of all the traits to saying a mother is a nurturer, it shouldn't be this many kids out here growing up to be adults starting from scratch. You can't blame that on men. Because at this juncture, with divorce being initiated 2/3 of the time by women, which in maybe 80%, 90% of the time, of course, rule in favor of women, and most of that time they get all the assets, most of the assets in liquid forms of payment for being with a guy, then your family's legacy is actually in your hands. It's not in the man's hands when you took the land, when you took the money, when you decided to go out and do things that didn't put your grandchildren in a good space. You messed up. And I'm going to tell you right now, what you don't understand is people who are in high places and smarter business owners, thinkers, they know this about women. They're trying to turn this whole community into a bunch of women. They're trying to turn the world, not just us, but the world into a bunch of women. Impulsive buyers who never hold on to anything and keep anything of value. And that's what's happening. That's why women's lifestyles are declining. See, to build you up to be comfortable, because comfort happened in these last 300-400 years maybe. And now you like the comforts of everything. But when you split up from a guy, or your kids leave because they're no longer the meal ticket, your level decreases slowly. Normally people who have legacy in mind, they increase as they get older. For women, are decreasing. So I'm saying these things to say, if you want to be free, take into consideration your approach to being free right now, because your short-term fixes are becoming your long-term destructions. Peace.